Solving a triangle with the law of sines, problem type 1. Okay, so we've been dealing with trigonomics functions for about the last 2 weeks or so. So now we're going to look at a triangle that is not a right triangle. So it says consider triangle ABC like the one below, and suppose that it's not writing in the information here for us, so I'm going to draw it in for us. It says that angle B is 79 degrees. Make that a little smaller here so I can fit that in. 79 degrees here. C is 56 degrees. And then side B is 19. And the figure is not drawn to scale, so it doesn't want you to take out anything for measurements or anything like that. It actually wants to calculate it out. And it wants us to solve the triangle. Whenever it says solve the triangle, it means find all the missing pieces. So we don't have angle A, we don't have side C or side A. So what we need to do is go through and solve these. But we can't use our trigonomic functions like we're used to using them because we don't have a right triangle. You need a right triangle in order to do that. So what we need to use is the law of sines. So I'm going to come over here to my notepad and I'm going to write this down because this is the law of sines. We have 3 ratios that will equal each other, and you just choose 2 of the ones that you have all the pieces for. So we have side A over the sine of angle A, side B over the sine of angle B, and side C over the sine of angle C. And these are capital. Sorry, this should be much more of a capital C. I'll make that a bigger C because the angles are shown in capitals, the sides are shown in lowercase. And the sides are opposite the angle. So if you notice, angle A here is opposite side A. C is opposite side C. B is opposite side B. So it's like that on all of them. So then we just determine which pieces do we have and we fill them in. And we go through and we solve for each piece that we're missing. The only one that we don't have to do that for is the angle we're missing, which is angle A, because all the angles add up to 180 degrees. So we just subtract what we have, which we've done that quite a few times at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and clear this out. Let's go ahead and do one because this is a little easier if we actually do this. So I'm going to, right over here, this is the law of sines. So this is when you don't have a 90-degree angle. So you don't have a 90-degree triangle. We have to use this law of sines. So first, let's go ahead and look at what do they give us here. Let's make that a little smaller. So B, they tell us angle B is 38 degrees. Angle C is 58 degrees. And side C is 61. So we did 61 something. They didn't give us the unit on this one. All right. So we need to find angle A. So this is the easiest one to find. 180 minus what we're using here. So let's see, that's 16. Looks like we're using 96. And I just add 58 and 38 together and I get 96. And then I'm going to subtract. So I end up with 4. Don't know what I started writing there. Crazy pen here. 4. And I'm going to borrow, let's see, that would be 8. So I end up with 84 degrees here. So when I type in this one, I'll put 84. And I'll do that in just a minute. So I'm going to cover this up over here so I have room because I'm going to write on this side now. So now I need to start using the law of sines. And I can use any of the angles I want. I didn't round any of these, so it's perfectly fine to use any of the angles I want. So really, I can find side B or A first, doesn't matter. So let's go ahead and find side A. So A, I don't know. So I'm going to use this function. And then I'm also going to use this one. So I'm going to kind of ignore the one in the middle because I have side C. I don't have side B. I don't want 2 variables in my equation here. So A is going to stay A. Sine of angle A, so angle A is 84 degrees, equals side C, which is 61, over sine of angle C, which is 58. Okay. So now we're going to cross multiply. We have A times sine of 58 equals 61 times the sine of 84. And I would wait just a minute before you start getting your calculator out because it's easier if we do this all at once. So we want to get a by itself. So I'm going to divide by the sine of 58 on both sides. Nothing cancels here, because I know you have sine and sine, but that's not quite what it means in this case. These do cancel because it's sine of 58 and sine of 58. So if these were both sine of the same number, we could cancel them. But these are sines of different numbers, so we can't cancel them. So now a equals, now we can pull out that calculator. Let's bring the calculator over here. And we have 61 times, bring this over just a little so you can see it, sine 84. I need to leave, so I'm going to press my arrow over just so that I'm on the outside of the parenthesis. I'm going to highlight the whole thing. Oh, darn it. I didn't need to my dictionary. Highlight the whole thing, and then I'm going to hit divide. The reason I highlighted the whole thing is because I want to divide the whole thing by the sine of 58. If I didn't highlight the whole thing, it would have only divided the sine of 84. So I want to make sure I divide the whole thing, and I'm going to hit equals. And so I get 71.5, and I want to round this to the nearest tenth like this. So I just look at that 3. Well, that's 4 smaller, so I know it's going to stay 71.5. All right, so I'm going to close this, and then I'm going to clear this out because I need a little bit more room here. Oh, darn it, I cleared out my whole, I wasn't paying attention. I cleared out my whole triangle there. So what did we have? 180 minus 58 minus 38, because I hadn't written that in either, darn it. That's what I get for clearing out the whole thing. I should work it out on this side so I don't have to clear out the whole thing here. So actually, that's my, I'll go ahead and work out the next one on this side. So we had, put this back, 84. Oh, gosh darn it. Turn the pen down. 84, 58, and 38. And then it was 61. I don't want to use, even though I know what A is now, I don't want to use it. I rounded that number. So we want to go back. We're going to use this function again when we do this on this side. So now we're going to use the B and the C. So I don't know what B is, but I do know what angle B is. Sine of 38 equals side C, which is 61, over the sine of 58. We're going to cross multiply, and we're going to get B times the sine of 58 equals 61 times the sine of 38. And then again, before you start breaking into the calculator, I would do this part, is if you round too early, you may get the wrong answer. So I'm dividing by sine of 58 on both sides. Because these exact match exactly, cross them off, and I get B equals. Now I can come over to my calculator here. And I'm going to do 61 times sine of 38. Again, I'm going to highlight the whole thing and then hit divide by sine of 58. Okay, equals. So I want to make sure I'm rounding to a tenth. So here's my tenth is my 2, but I need to look at my 8 because that's what's going to tell me if the 2 rounds or not. 8 is 5 or bigger, so I do need to round that 2 up to a 3. So I have 44.3. Clear. Next. Let's go ahead and just erase this, and we'll start over. So I'll just keep writing it on this side. That way I'm not arguing too much with my stuff. So I'll fill in the figure on this side, and then I'll write all the information over here. All right, so we have B is 64, and C is 32, A is 8. All right, so the one thing I will work out on this side is the angle we're missing here. So remember, they always add up to 180 degrees in a triangle, so I just have to figure out what am I using. So I'm using 96. I'm going to subtract. So I'm borrowing. 4, and I get 8. Get 84 again. Interesting, I got 84 in the last one. I'm going to go ahead and fill that in just in case we lose there. Yep, okay. I'm making sure I did that right. All right, so now I'm going to flip over here and I'm going to start using my trig functions, or my trig function, my law of sines, which is kind of a trig function, but it's a different type. So I want to find either B or C. Doesn't matter which one I start with, so let's go ahead and start with B. So I have A, so we're going to use this first ratio and the second ratio. So remember, we're only ever using 2. So I know what side A is. I know what angle A is. That's 84 degrees. I just figured that one out, so that's fine. I'm allowed to use it. B is, whoops, I don't know what side B is. I know what angle B is, which is 64 degrees. So I'm going to start cross multiplying here. 64 times 8 equals B times sine of 84, and I jumped ahead without doing my cross there. All right, before we pull the calculator out, let's get B by itself. Sine of 84, sine of 84. So these are the same. Let's cancel out. These look the same, but one's 84, one's 64. So be careful on that one. So now B is all by itself. Now I can come over here and take the calculator out. Move. Okay, so I'm going to go sine of 64 times 8. Whoops, I got to make sure I get out of the parentheses there before I hit times 8. And then I'm going to highlight the whole thing and divide by sine of 84. So be careful as you're typing it in. Make sure you look back up at it before you hit enter, and it should look pretty close to the way we wrote it. All right, so we have 7.2. The next one is a 2, so that stays 7.2. 7.2. I'm going to close that. I'm going to come back over here, and I'm going to erase this. I'm going to do another one. Okay, so now I want C. So now I don't want to use B. I rounded that. I'm going to use the first and the last. So side A is still 8. Angle A is still 84. Now side C I don't know, but angle C I do know is 32. So now I can cross. Sine of 32 times 8 equals sine of 84 times C. Before I pull out the calculator, let's get C by itself. So it's pretty repetitive on this one. So now I can go grab the calculator. And I have, make sure I leave the parentheses, times 8, highlight the whole thing, divided by sine of 84 equals. Okay, so I'm going to round to a 10th. I look at the 6. The 6 is bigger than 5, so I'm going to round that up to 4.3. All right, let's get that one more time. Almost done here. Okay, we can just leave that one there. So let's go ahead and fill in what we have. So 45, 39. All right, so, and then B we have is 26. All right, so 180. Oh, I got all of a sudden spazzed out and got really big there. 180 minus, let's see, we're using 1484. Again, I just added those together. We're going to subtract, and we get 6 and 9. So we get 96 this time. Over here, I haven't erased the last one. Let's erase this. All right, so we need to find A or C. It doesn't matter which one, so let's go ahead and start with A. And then we're going to use the middle one for each. So we have A, we don't know, but we do know angle A, which is what we just found, equals B, we do know is 26, and we do know angle B, which is 45. All right, so remember we're going to multiply, but then we're going to end up dividing. So I'm going to kind of skip this step here since this is our last one. So we're going to have sine of 96 times 26, and then we would have ended up dividing by this number here because we multiply, would have been on this side we have to divide. So hopefully that's not too much. You can always go back and kind of rewatch how I did that on the other ones, but I'm just skipping that simplification step there. All right, so let's go to our calculator, and we have sine 96 times 26, highlight the whole thing, divide by sine of 45 equals, okay, so we're going to round to a tenth, which is here. 6 is bigger than 5, so I'm going to round this up to 36.6. Okay, one more time. So now we're going to try to find C. So again, we're going to use B again because we didn't round that one. So sine of 45, because angle B is 45, equals, we don't know C, but we do know angle C is 39. So remember, we're going to multiply these two. Right? I'm going to rewrite that. Sine of 39 times 26 equals C. We'd multiply these two, and then it would be on this side, so we'd end up dividing it over here. So I'm just skipping that little step and just going ahead and put it on the bottom there so that it's a little simpler. 39 times 26. I'm going to highlight the whole thing and divide by sine of 45. All right, last time here, we just need to make sure we're rounding to a tenth. 3 is smaller than 4, so we're going to leave it 23.1. Check. All right, we finished that one.